Hello, my lovely friends. Welcome to another class. Good evening. I started this course for improving the technical skills that are required for junior level developer and who is looking for job opportunities in software development as a freelancer or full time. As a part of our journey, I'm trying to cover various type of technology domain and skills, especially open source technologies that require no basic qualification for learning this. So I chooses platform like Drupal, PHP, Laravel, WordPress, uh, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, etc. Drupal is an open source CMS, and I have already created one video on understanding Drupal as a CMS. So it is a conversation instead of doing some sort of tutorial explaining each and every part of Drupal. I'll try to cover most of the Drupal related knowledge that is essential for a beginner level developer. So obviously, as it is a very vast knowledge area, it will take a long time for explaining everything. So I want to start my day by reading a poem from Tagore's creation, Tagore's book. So, your games are my games, my proxy holiday. Your laugh, the sweetest music I shall ever play. Your joy is mine, my mischief is your eyes. Your delight, the country where my freedom lies. So let's start our today's talk. My name is Narayan. I spent 12 years in software development as a developer and project manager, and it is my initiative on YouTube. Through this channel, I want to help you guys using knowledge sharing, help you guys with knowledge sharing. Pardon me for my thick accent and a little bit of mistake here and there, but I am sure the conversation will be pretty much understandable and you can easily understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we are going to discuss about a technology that generally used by various type of organization, small and medium scale organization, for managing their content online. So we are talking about content management system. Now, those of you who are not aware of content management system, I am going to give you a little idea. If you want to develop a static website, say 5 page, 10 page, it is easy to make changes on a particular page. Just edit this page and you can add new content. And if you want to make a little change in the header or footer, which is common part of the whole website, you have to edit almost each and every page for the new changes. Suppose you want to add one telephone number on the header area and your previous developer has not added this information, and it is very helpful for getting new leads. In that case, adding this number is a time taking work because you have to edit all the pages located on your server related to this static website. But if you use some content management system, it will be easy to make some sort of content editing, adding new content through an admin login area, which is a password protected login area that allows you to manage your content. With this aim, various type of software, basically content management softwares, were developed, and a large community increase its feature for making website management more easy. How this revolution started? When a content management software was first launched as a free and open source software, there is a website. Let us take example of take example of Drupal. When Drupal was first launched, various developer communities contributed new feature to the main core website, and then other developers reuse those feature for adding new feature in this application. If we look at the web archive of Drupal.org website, which is the main official website of Drupal software, you'll find their first Drupal.org was launched in 2001, and let's see this website. Is there any backup available? I think there is no backup available. So this was the earliest version of Drupal website from 2001 or 2003, I think. Yes, 2003. Almost around 19 years or 20 years. Okay. The first line about the description was like this: Drupal is an open source platform and content management system for building website, offering a broad range of features and service, including user administration, publishing workflow, discussion capabilities, news aggregation, metadata functionalities, using control vocabularies, and XML publishing for content sharing purpose. Equipped with powerful blend of features and configurability, Drupal can support a diverse range of projects ranging from personal web blog to large community-driven website. Now I'm sure that many beginners find many words here which is little bit unknown and not familiar. So let me explain the few vocabularies here. Open source means the software is free for modification. You don't need to pay any sort of license fee, so that a company is having the right of this software. And it was the revolution time at that time when .com industry was booming all over the world, and many companies like many companies like Microsoft and other were using paid software for many solutions. And at that time, a group of developers started their revolution as free open source software, and Drupal is just one of them. So it is a content management system which is already discussed a little earlier ago, that a static website is not capable to provide a backend feature for editing the content, and the content management system is very helpful for the web administrator. So you can build dynamic website with Drupal. Okay, fine. The next thing is it has many features. Features are like user administration. You can add a new user. You can give a little different permission to every user. We'll find out this in a actual software after installation. So this tutorial is going to be a very lengthy tutorial, but don't worry. End of this tutorial will definitely get a clear idea how things are working. Publishing workflow. Suppose you want to publish an article and you want to keep it as a draft, and especially if you are doing free journalism, you are typing one article and save it and publish it on a particular day. This is just a simple publishing workflow. There are many complicated workflow involved, but I'm not going to discuss this because it is out of scope. discussion capabilities means when you are writing an article, other person is capable to write some comment on it, and you can reply this comment like blog commenting, and this feature is called the discussion capabilities. News aggregation means you can add news on your website using some sort of RSS feed or XML feed, this kind of thing. You can have some meta functionalities. Metadata is means a particular page has some sort of data like meta description, keyword. These are generally not visible on browser, but it is visible on the header section of the code, and it helps search engine to understand what is the content is all about, what is the content contents topic. So these meta related information are very essential for search engine optimization, and a website or administrator can manage those information using these data using this software. Okay, then the next thing is the user control vocabularies. User control vocabularies means there are some taxonomies like some post, some detail. So this is part, I think here by user control vocabularies, they want to explain the taxonomy feature, and taxonomy feature is something that allow you to create different type of post type like article, then page, then you can add some sort of news item, so etc. So this thing is a concept. Okay, XML permission. So we understood the major feature of Drupal from the very first website. Now let us check about Drupal organization in 2001. What was their description about this software? So this paragraph is already discussed. I think we have already discussed each and every point of this paragraph. Later they mentioned that due to its modular design, Drupal is flexible and easy to adapt or extend. Okay, then Drupal platform written in PHP utilizing the database of MySQL or PostgreSQL database, and provides APIs that facilitate the development of building blocks, especially module that seamlessly integrate with each other. Again, is a complicated line. I want to break each part for more clarification. The software is developed based on PHP. PHP is an open source programming software. It's a general purpose server-side programming, and it is again a free software from php.net. PHP was first launched in 2014, and then it was flourished as a very powerful programming language for web, especially server-side, for server-side scripting. So I have created a series of video about the basic understanding of PHP. You will find 3 videos in my channel, and I will put some link in the description below or in the I button, so you can easily get that. So discussion is similar. I continue my discussion from the basic area. So PHP, using PHP you can develop many custom solutions. A group of developers design this Drupal using PHP, and you need a database. Like server-side scripting is helpful for creating a dynamic page, and the content of the page is coming from a database, and all the pages are generally connected to a database. A database has a table for various data, and it is showing those data through this through various type of functions and methods. Now this is the concept. When you are doing actual development work, you will find something, you will find many deeper understanding how it works. Okay, so again, database is considered that database is a software that store your data. Now, what is APIs? APIs is known as in short, APIs are application programming interface that enables you to send some data from one application to another application through an interface. And generally, when one software want to communicate with another software, the APIs plays a very important role here. So as Drupal provide some sort of API, so you can access the Drupal's web software's data through API, and we'll learn this in the future discussion. What is API, how you can use Drupal APIs, etc. Now, what was the mission of developing such software? In the mission statement, a Drupal community explained that to this, I'm just reading this section, they told that to develop a leading edge open source content management system and implementing the latest thinking in community publishing, knowledge management, and software design. Their goal was community publishing. Many communities are there all over the world. The people want to raise their voice through this internet, and it is an open medium where people can express their thought, and they need some platform, because if we consider about the age where there was no internet and major publication platform was just newspaper, when you have some problem in your locality, people generally use the editorial column of newspaper and send some letter to news editor for publishing the problem of the community. And when there is internet, the social media made these activities obsolete, because you can write about your grievance, about your joys and understanding, about your about any problem of the community through internet. And the people, the computer scientists who developed this Drupal, they were thinking that the Drupal will provide a very helpful platform to all those community. People can launch a website very quickly, and they can start writing the article about all the activities. It may be political, it may be religious, it may be social reform, everything. So community publishing was the main purpose. What nowadays we call it blogging, but people use blogging for different purpose. Knowledge management, it is helpful to categorize various type of knowledge, various type of article. You can manage your list of article based on the publishing date, based on category, based on tag, etc. And it is possible to design some software bit on top of Drupal. So I'm happy that this conversation is going in a different direction from Drupal introduction to another, but we want to focus on the main topic, and Drupal provide the flexibility, simplicity, utility, and you can do teamwork, you can do innovation. It has openness in the community, it has the modularity, extensibility, and maintainability. All these words are uh, just a little bit of extra jargons, but each of the word has meaning. It has the innovation capability, but that means you can add a new extension on your Drupal for adding a new feature. It has modularity, but it has different coding section for different purpose. It is not a haphazard of all coding, and that, and generally when a developer develops something and you want to export them, it is a little bit difficult. There are some the earliest version was Drupal 4.0, and there was a development guide was provided at that time. So let me see whether this oldest guide is available there in the web archive or not. Why I choose web archive? Because when you want to study a particular software, it's better to I have a call. Okay, so where we were, and let us try to find some older user guide. Instead of looking at the most recent user guide, why I have chosen the oldest version for this discussion? There is a reason behind it. You know, when a software is developed based on its previous version, generally the previous core features are intact in the new version. So if you learn a software from its nascent stage, that means the oldest version, you can get the clear idea how actually it is working. You can remember how new things are added, and it is a good idea. I don't know whether you will agree with me or not, but it is helpful. Let's try. So Drupal engine is open source. Okay, fine. It is possible for each and every user to become a contributor, which is fine. The fact remain that most Drupal user, even those skilled in programming, contacts, and never contributed to the code, even though the most of us had day where we thought to ourselves, I wish Drupal could do this or not. That doesn't make a good sense, but okay, it's okay. Now the first thing, and look at this index. There is some coding standard. I'm looking at I'm not looking at the features suggestion and mailing list. Look at the coding center. There are some naming convention in the coding. So when we will need this coding, there is a different stage for that. Generally coding, you will think about coding when you are already familiar with all the existing feature of a Drupal. Log into the administrative dashboard, look at what are the features are there, think like a end user. Are you capable to manage a site using your Drupal administrator? Are you familiar with about all the features available in the Drupal? So if we look at this section first, then we can think about developing some theme and looking at the theme structure coding, and then we can move into developing some module for the developer, more module for a custom Drupal site, and gradually you can get confidence over this software. So it is not an overnight process, and it is not a something that in just one video I can complete everything relevant to this, but it is a direction that giving you some sort of extra uh, guidance that you can start this journey. And it is a journey, maybe a year-long journey for getting the right kind of experience here. So what are the coding center? I just getting some general idea: naming convention, indenting, and control structure, function. Generally, when a software is launched as a open source project, and its coding is simple, and developer try to keep the documentation as simple as possible, so that many contributor can give more uh, support and more information, more resources. So as a programmer, when you want to explore this open source project, you can get the code in the GitHub or other code repository, and it is easy to explore them. So generally, when you want to develop something, you want to do some coding, programmings need some naming convention. Your programming, you need understanding how to use control flow like if else statement. You need understanding how to create your own functions, and how to add some new module in the software. So in the documentation section, first they discussed about the functions and method. Functions and methods are helpful for adding new feature, and if you have some background in programming, especially PHP programming, and if you have developed something as custom application, you wrote some custom function for specific purpose, like for login, like for a contact form, or managing some sort of data. So here you will find that in this particular software there are some existing functions already available. If you know how to use them, then it is easy for manipulating them in future. So knowledge about namespacing is very important. How to name a particular function, and for that following this document is very important, but it is irrelevant right now. Because why? Because we are going to understand the software from basic level. So when it will be time for understanding this advanced level thing, we can explore them. But let's explore the basic thing. Like I think you are already familiar with using if and else. So this is the control structure. If there is a condition, this sign is or. If this condition is true, then this action will be taken. Otherwise it will test another condition, and then this action will be taken. So it is a nested loop. You can also use some switch control. So what we see that the clean PHP coding is applied there in this software. So when we'll explore this software's code, we'll find the basic PHP knowledge is good enough for manipulating this. But generally what happened in case of Drupal modification or any other community software modification, you do not need to modify the core software. Instead, you add new function as an add-on, as an extension, or as a plugin, and keep the core software as it is. Do not make any changes in the core software. So based on your experience level, you will learn this in future. So how to create new functions, how to pass various type of parameters using comma in the parenthesis section. So you can declare a function as a variable. Here you can see a function is declared in the variable. Then this kind of concepts will help you in future when you are doing some modification in your application. So but the first step, at the initial step, you cannot do this, because first of all you have to understand the UI and the backend, Drupal backend as a site administrator. Then you can go for this. Then try to do some theme modification. Then you can go for extension development. This is the workflow. Why I'm sharing these things initially, because it will give you an impression that if you learn PHP very well, if you get full confidence on PHP, then it is easy to understand this code in future. Like here is a function. For example, I'm trying to read this particular lines. It is a function, and this function is taking two parameters, and one parameter has some initial null value. Okay, then inside this function an if statement is used. If this statement is correct, then it is giving one statement. So statement is symbolic. Here you can write anything like echo or something, and it will return a value. This function will return a value. So this is a function declaration statement. Then argument with default values go at the end of the argument list, and always attempt to return a meaningful value from the function of one is appreciate, if one is appreciate. Here is slightly longer example. So this documentation is generally talking about various type of code example. You can use documentation as a reference, and then include and then there is some comment option. Comment option is started with a slash strict and end with a strict slash. This comment convention is coming from C language, and it is very helpful for documentation purpose. Suppose you are adding some code as a developer, you can add comment. These are the basic best practices for any development team. And then include the required ones, include ones. These are the default function in PHP for adding additional PHP file in your code. So Drupal also support these function. So someone who has some experience in custom PHP development, he can easily understand Drupal code. So PHP always use this open tag and close tag, and sometimes it is shorthand. Just instead of writing this angle bracket question mark PHP is omitted. It is also fine. It requires for that you need to make some setting change in your PHP. That is good. Let's see. There is API on function. If you are interested in developing Drupal module or hacking away other Drupal code, hacking away Drupal code, by this word they did not mean the hacking the site. It means the changing the default feature of Drupal site at the Drupal code. Then this is the place to find detail about the functions and class defined in Drupal. So as the name suggests, like module underscore admin, I'm assuming that this module is relevant to the admin related item. This module is related to block related item, cron job related item. Now those of you who don't know what is cron job is a scheduled task set on your server, and it will run on a particular date and time on a particular day on a regular basis. Suppose you want to send an email every day at 9 p.m. to all subscriber, then a cron job can do this automatically without any manual intervention. So that is cron job. So there is a cron related module. There is some help page, permalink, user. So all these hooks, Drupal hooks, are important for any new functions, for adding new functions. Now hooks are generally the function, the additional code that help you for adding new feature. So hooks is very important. Understanding the concept of hooks is very important. Drupal's module system is largely based on various type of hooks, and these concepts are still valid in Drupal 8 and 9. A little bit of modification, but core concept is same, still there. So we need to study it from the historical background so that things are clear to you. So if you are developing a new module, you have to use specific hooks, and it will be called when needed with a relevant parameter. If you are calling one hooks, then you have to pass the relevant parameter. Instead of using module in function definition of a hook, it should be replaced with the name of the module. That is, if a module file is called as foo dot module, then the hook should be a function like foo underscore hook function, so that you can relate the hook name and the function name. This is a convention. Okay, so it is easy to find out the hook which module is related to this kind of knowledge will be helpful when you are developing something. So some of the hooks are specific to the node based modules, and these prefix with node underscore in the documentation. So I'm not going to make this conversation more boring about talking about more coding related thing here. It will be time to discuss about coding when I'm covering the background of this application fast and then going for the next phase. Now, in the meantime, let us talk a little bit about job opportunities for Drupal developer. You top level Drupal development companies hire junior Drupal developer who has good understanding of PHP programming. At least they can develop a Drupal site from scratch using a custom theme, and who is capable to write a custom modular extension. If you have that level of experience, then you can apply to various type of Drupal development related companies, and they are ready to give you very good salary, no matter you are in India, US, or any part of the world. Or you can also find various type of opportunities and all over as remote work, freelancing, and etc. So there is no doubt, if you have good skills, there is no shortage of work all over the internet. And let's get into the work. In fact, if we just talk about the job opportunities and the future career and talking about high salaries and etc., will not get time to understand the matter, and it will be a vague conversation, in fact. But still, as the content management market is still getting some good hike, I think the content management market is still relevant. The importance of developing beautiful website using CMS is a regular requirement of any organization, any new organization or old organization. So Drupal is no doubt an enterprise level solution for all sort of website, no matter you are developing a simple business card like of website, or you are developing a very sophisticated application with CRM. So Drupal allows you to add free open source CRM as a add-on, or you can easily integrate it to other CRM as well. So the leading development companies are looking for talent who are capable to understand this business requirement. They are capable to deliver custom solution based on their coding knowledge and etc. You don't need any sort of coding knowledge in Java or .NET or sophisticated language. Just PHP, a good understanding of PHP and Drupal is good enough for this kind of job role. You also need a good design eye about the modern website, how JavaScript, CSS are used in the front end. You need a good research, analysis, evaluation of various Drupal related project, and then sky is the limit. You can do very well in this industry. But the road is not so smooth. I want to tell you that there is some additional skills that will be required if you really want to um, excel in this particular field, because nowadays uh, many organizations are looking at some advanced level CMS, which is called the headless CMS. What is headless CMS in layman term? Generally a older version of Drupal or other CMS, where depending on server response and when there is a lot of traffic, say you are managing a site for an event like FIFA World Cup, and tons of traffic are coming into your website, and it is just its capacity is just exhausted, and it is the site is breakdown. In that case, developers are thinking about the headless CMS, where the response time is not depending on the server response. Instead, it is scaled based on the uh, request number of requests. So understanding understanding uh, various type of headless CMS, and how headless CMS can be introduced to Drupal, researching on them. These are the advanced level knowledge that you require for a good modern Drupal developer. You also need understanding how this cloud platform works. Especially, you don't need a full understanding how to manage your server on the cloud, but instead, if you study how to host a Drupal site on a cloud server like AWS instance, and how to configure it, because nowadays these are very simple if you know the steps, because you can get an Docker image on a Docker Hub about a Drupal installation. Then when you will start an instance, I'm talking about the AWS, when you are starting an instance on AWS, running with a basic bare minimum software like MySQL, PHP, and Apache, and you can install the Drupal software easily, and then just communicate with your local environment with the server production environment. Keep a backup of your code on a repository like GitHub or Bitbucket, and these kind of best practices are very good knowledge for a Drupal developer. So I'm talking about the topic, and in each area that we need uh, more study. So when a headless CMS is ready, it can manage various type of web applications data. Generally, when we browse a web application on your mobile, your mobile has some app that is actually connected to internet, and it is getting the data from the internet or from the online server, and Drupal can be used as a backend of this kind of mobile app. When you will create some sort of web service using your Drupal site, you can communicate with mobile app user. So a website can be converted into a mobile app, and these kind of hybrid applications are now very very popular in the market, and the power of CMS is just exponentially increasing due to these kind of flexibilities. Modern JavaScript based frameworks are used for creating the UI of the web app, mobile app, and the backend that you require for the user management, content management is just Drupal or any other PHP based framework. So this technology is a little bit the modern version of web application development. What I have discussed till now as some sort of vocabularies generally in the CMS world. So if you are going to specialize in the CMS, you need familiarity with those concepts like how to access API through CMS, so how you can connect your CMS with the front end of mobile application, how to create market friendly content using using JavaScript based framework like Next.js, and you can render the content from the server without changing the page loading. Generally, when you are developing a Drupal site, normal Drupal site, in when your user clicking from one page to another page, there is some page loading effect, and if you use application like Next.js or React and connect your content to that application, there will be no page refreshing, no page reloading, and it is very user friendly for the mobile user. So when a mobile user is browsing this content, they can use the online content seamlessly like a mobile app, the core mobile app. You need understanding of how many channels, so the content is connected to multiple communication channel, and how you can post your content to different kind of platform from one application. This sort of robust knowledge, this sort of advanced thinking makes a developer more industry friendly. So it is not easy to get this exposure when you are starting your initial journey as a beginner. So just from top level, look at the overview of the software and use of the software, and then go to the bottom, like the basic thing. So from top to down is a very good process for understanding a software. You can start from bottom to top, like clear the basic thing and then understand the highest level, advanced level use of the software. But now you have to use the both in case of digesting the whole thing. Okay. And good understanding of data modeling, like there is an existing database already there in the Drupal site. Understand this database when you are adding new table as additional feature. Then how to relate those tables with the existing table is a skill that generally acquired from good understanding of database modification. So as a developer, how you can develop a theme for Drupal site, we'll discuss this in a separate video with proper guidance. But here I want to give you the historical background of how the theme was separated from the core code, and a theme developer can to make a site customization without any sort of core understanding of the main code. Instead, only some basic ideas of PHP is good enough for a theme customization. So in the Drupal, oldest version of Drupal, the functions are like a header function for showing the header HTML on the page. There are some variable for getting the site name, then site slogans, etc. There is some function for node. This function displays a variety of Drupal element. For example, if you are adding some book elements, then you can display this using that. Then there are variables that contain the title of the article. There are variables for author name, date of publication, then checking what type of content it is, whether it is a blog content or page content. And then there are some functions like adding some comment, then checking the comment subject, comment body, content, and then timestamp of the comment, then whether this content is moderated or not. There is some variable for links. There are some functions for block, displaying some block. So there are some functions for displaying some displaying the footer content, so all those things. So what you are now seeing in the screen, maybe they are obsolete, but it is helpful that you will find similar kind of function in Drupal 8 as well, Drupal 7 as well. So if you are a Drupal developer and if you are getting job in a site which is developed in Drupal 7 or say 8, you cannot say, okay, I am only aware of Drupal 8, I don't know anything about Drupal 7. If you start learning from the basics, it will be helpful for understanding any kind of problem in future. So we are at the end of this today's class, because I want to make all the classes like 1 hour or 45 minutes long, and in the next class we'll continue about Drupal. We'll continue our discussion about Drupal. So look at this is just the Drupal 8 file, PHP file. So you can see there are folder for core, functions related files, there are modules related file, there are profile related files, sites, and various type of extensions are used there. And not only the PHP, there is YML, and there is a folder for the theme, then there is a folder for vendor. Various type of third-party softwares are used in Drupal, and each the vendors are helpful when you are developing something advanced module. Just look at the database of the Drupal. There are 65 tables for various purpose. User related tables are there. There are taxonomy related tables. There are search data related table, routers related table, nodes are like post or page or any other custom nodes. There are menu management related table, history, configuration. A lot of tables are there about cache, blocks. So these are the major database structure, and if you look at the backend feature, these features are there. Very a lot of things are there to explore, and when you are exploring this code, database, and documentation, and spending time on Drupal, you will find it very interesting, and you can learn Drupal for a great career as a developer. So see you guys in the next episode, and till then, take care of yourself, and thank you. If you are interested in any of these topics, please stick around till the end of this video for your new update. If you are liking this video, please hit the subscribe button, like the video, and click the bell icon so that you can instantly receive any new update right on your YouTube homepage of your smartphone or smart device. Now let's get into the video.